They made me walk out on my own knowing every eye was watching and none of them cared. My daughter's hand was in mine, my son's coat was draped over my arm, we had dressed up, practiced our smiles. I even bought new shoes I couldn't afford, but the moment we stepped into the ballroom I realized something: we weren't guests, we were props, and broken ones at that. My younger brother Nolan stood under a chandelier the size of our old living room, white tux, perfect hair, the kind of grin that had always come easy to him and expensive to me. He looked me up and down, smirked, and said into the mic, "Well, someone came straight from the clearance aisle." Laughter real loud, rehearsed. My daughter shrank beside me, my son stared at the cake like it could save him. Then came my mother, Vivian, wearing a dress 3 shades darker than her pride, her voice satin soaked in vinegar. "You know," she whispered, "your presence makes people uncomfortable." Then my father, Everett, still pretending time hadn't made him cruel, gestured to security like he was waving away a waiter. "Let's keep things clean today." "Yeah, no one touched us, they didn't have to." I looked at my kids and said calmly, "We're not garbage, we don't stay where we're treated like it." And we left. No drama, just silence and shame. But I left something behind that day, something that had been clinging to me for years: the need to be accepted by people who were never going to see me as whole. You see, I was the kid who held the family together when it was falling apart. When Nolan crashed a car, I was the one who took the blame. When my mother cried about bills, I gave up my college deposit. When my father disappeared for 3 days, I watched over them all like a lighthouse with a cracked bulb. And when I lost my wife and my home was a pile of unpaid notices and funeral flowers, I asked for help. Once Vivian said, "You're grown, figure it out." Nolan sent me a gift of a drowning man with popcorn emojis. I thought that was the worst of it until we got evicted. No warning, rent tripled overnight, landlord unreachable. Then one day in court I saw it, his name Nolan. He had bought the building through a trust, anonymously raised the rent just enough to push us out without getting sued. He watched us struggle from behind a curtain of fake SLCs. That's when I realized I'd been playing by rules he never followed, so I stopped playing. I got a job as a graveyard shift janitor in a corporate high-rise, coincidentally, or maybe not. That's where his investment firm's records were stored. I didn't speak, didn't ask questions, just swept, cleaned. Listen, people forget the janitor is still in the room when they talk. I collected whispers, glimpses of documents, screens left unlocked, schedules left in open drawers. Turns out Nolan wasn't just greedy, he was sloppy. He'd funneled funds through his fiancé's father's hedge fund, one already under quiet investigation. One night I found a file folder left in a printer tray, no password, just pages. Insider trading, offshore laundering, asset inflation, everything I needed. But I didn't rush, I waited. Then the wedding happened, and someone, maybe karma, maybe just a bored teenager, posted a clip of the moment Nolan humiliated me. It went viral. My daughter cried in her room with the door locked. My son asked if being from nothing meant we would always be nothing. That night I wrote 4 letters, one to a federal auditor, one to a financial journalist I knew from a college internship, one to the ethics committee at the hedge fund's biggest investor, and one placed in a matte black envelope and slipped under Nolan's office door. Inside only a single line: "Now we're even." By the end of the week his world cracked open, the fund froze, his engagement collapsed, subpoenas followed, and on Saturday I bought my kids waffles. We didn't talk about it, they just laughed, syrup on their fingers, music in the background, no tension in their shoulders for the first time in years. Then my phone rang, no ID, but I knew the voice. "What did you do?" Nolan asked hoarse. I paused. "You broke me," he said, and for the first time I answered no. I said, "I watched you broke yourself that month." They lost everything. Vivian called, left a voicemail that said, "We still love you." You know, I deleted it. Everett never called, and Nolan, last I heard, he was working freelance couch surfing between cities. I didn't smile, I didn't celebrate, I just moved on. We live in a little townhouse now, paid for, clean, warm. My son joined the school band. My daughter, she laughs out loud now. And me, I kept the eviction notice not out of bitterness, but because it reminds me some people throw you out so they can stay comfortable, but sometimes you come back and rearrange the furniture they thought they'd own forever. I didn't raise my voice, I didn't burn the bridge, I just watched it rot beneath them, because not every storm announces itself, some just wait for silence.